Now, what is elastic? Like we have seen elastic we use in our dresses and everything. When we stretch it, it responds. It becomes big, so it is elastic. But if we stretch the elastic and it does not respond, means it has gone waste, so it is not responding. So that time we tell it to be inelastic. So when we are stretching the elastic and it is responding, that means it is elastic in nature. The elastic is fine. But when we are stretching it and the elastic is not responding, we say what? It is inelastic. Similarly, in this case also, we will have this situation. If I say elastic, the demand is perfectly elastic in nature, means due to the change in price, due to the change in income, the demand is responding highly. The demand for the commodity will be changing highly. Either it will decrease or increase due to change in income, due to change in the price. Okay, so if due to change in price or change in income, the demand is responding highly, so we call it elastic demand. However, if due to change in price of the commodity or due to change in income or due to change in price of related commodities, if the demand for the commodity is not responding, means due to change in price, due to change in income, the demand is not responding to it, means the demand is not changing. So if we see due to the change in price of the commodity, change in income of the consumer, the demand for the commodity is not responding, then the demand is inelastic, means it is not responding. If it responds, means the change will be greater, okay, in comparison to the change in income and change in price. If the change in demand is greater, then we will call it elastic. But if due to change in price and change in income, the demand does not respond much, we will tell it to be inelastic demand. Now, the very first condition is perfectly elastic demand. So, what is perfectly elastic demand? See the diagram. See, it's a straight line. It's a straight horizontal line parallel to the x-axis. Okay? Now, what is it saying? It refers to a situation when demand of a commodity is infinite at the prevailing price. A slightest increase in the price by the seller causes the quantity demanded of the commodity to fall to zero. So the demand curve is horizontal to the straight line that is parallel to x-axis. Okay. So now suppose the price, as we saw in the diagram, the price is OP. Okay. So now suppose the price is OP and the demand curve is horizontal to the x-axis. Okay. Now the price does not change. The price does not change, yet the demand rises. The demand curve is parallel to the x-axis and horizontal in nature. Okay, and it's an imaginary situation. Okay. Now, here the price is fixed. The price of the commodity is fixed. Now, so why will the demand change? The demand will be changing due to the other factors affecting demand, like the income of the consumer, price of related goods, taste and preference, future expectation of price. Due to all these factors, the demand will change. Now, as due to all these factors, the demand will change. Suppose the demand now the demand curve is this. Okay. Now, due to the change in these factors, suppose the seller increases the price a bit. Say from OP, it increases the price a bit. So if it increases the price a bit, no one will buy from him. The demand will become zero. In this situation, when there is no increase in price, the demand is equal to infinity, means there is high demand for the commodity. But if the price increases, if the seller increases the price a bit due to the change in other factors, then the demand for the commodity will fall to zero. So this is an extreme kind of situation, extreme kind of market situation, where a smallest increase in price brings the demand to zero. So when a smallest increase in price is bringing the demand to zero, and if the price is fixed to that position, the demand is infinite at that price. The demand is infinite at that particular price. We call it perfectly elastic demand. Similarly, we have got perfectly inelastic demand. In this case, a change in price of the commodity causes no change in its quantity demanded. When substantial change in price leaves the demand unaffected, the demand curve is a vertical straight line parallel to y-axis. So here what it is happening, the demand is parallel to the y-axis, means it's a vertical straight line. Whatever may be the price change here, the demand will not change. Suppose this is for the products of salt, then matchbox, then your rice, dal, which is our daily necessities that we need to buy. Okay, whatever may be the price change, even if the price of salt rises by 5 rupees or rises by 10 rupees, we will not reduce its consumption, we will consume it. Okay, so since such necessity commodities, even if the price changes, rises from P to P1 to P2 to P3 to P4, the demand remains unaffected. Okay, the demand remains unaffected and it is parallel to the y-axis, so straight vertical line. See, even if the price is changing to P, P1, P2, P3, see, the demand is unaffected. So what is this condition? This is perfectly inelastic. So is it matching what I am saying? Like, why is it perfectly inelastic? Because the demand is not responding. Even if the price is changing, the demand is not responding. So it is inelastic in nature. Okay.